on my official Facebook page. It is not even allowing me to stream on the fan page either. They have decided that the money, the blood money that the Fulani Janjaweed gave to them is far more better than doing that which is right before God and before man. Allow me to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. This is Radio Biafra. We are transmitting live and direct to the entirety of humanity. It's a live presentation. If the time where you are is not 5 minutes past the top of the hour, then you're listening to a repeat program. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the largest mass movement on the face of this very earth, bar none, the glorious indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. I am the director of Radio Biafra, that very platform that is responsible for arousing, or should I say, awakening the consciousness of the people right across the damnable zoological republic, that has made it possible for us this day to stand up to face our collective enemy, Fulani Janjaweedism. And also the director of Radio Biafra, not only that, also Biafra Television. And more importantly, by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra, we have come to do that for which we have been born. We have come that Biafra may be restored. We have come that our enemies may understand that we are the chosen children of light. We have come to let them become aware of the fact that we are no longer going to run away from our identity, from who we are. We are going to proclaim it loudly and very clearly, and the whole world is going to listen. This evening, please, as I said, you can participate by going to my Twitter handle at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We are on Twitter. This is streaming on Twitter. I can see it here. It is confirmed. Or you can all go to University of Radio Biafra on YouTube and listen to us. University of Radio Biafra on YouTube. We are live there. I believe that we are also live and direct on IPOB Community Radio. It never fails. We are live also on Radio Biafra app. These are applications. We are also live on TuneIn and a whole host of others as well. Not forgetting that some people who are fortunate are listening to us via FM right across the length and breadth of Biafra land, and also some parts of Oduduwa land. We are also on satellite. On any of those, you'll be able to listen to us this very evening. I welcome you once again, but before I proceed, as it has become customary for us here on this platform, we must pray. We must give glory to the Most High Elohim. After the songs of praise, a very exciting songs of praise and worship a few days ago, we are here once again offering all that we are to the Almighty in heaven. And I will, of course, pray in the language of heaven itself. That very language with which the angels venerate, adore, and worship our Creator, our Lord and our God, Elohim Adonai El Shaddai, Tamuno, Abasembong, Chukwu Kikabia Maprumi in heaven. Ezendenso, Onye Notupu Mbewe Malite, onye ọ bụ naanị ya sitere n'okwu ọnụ nke ya wee kee ihe niile nke mmadụ dị ndụ bụ. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ ama macha onye dị omimi wee karịa nghọta ndị onye nwa kere. Otuto ka anyị na-eto gị, nsọpụrụ ka anyị na-asọpụrụ, anyị bịakwa n'ihu gị nna nke ebere na-ebutara gị ozi ekele, nsọpụrụ, ịja mma, otuto, ikpu isi ala ka anyị na-enye gị, n'ihi na enweghị chi ọzọ ma ọ bụghị naanị gị. Mmeso ọma gị n'ime ndụ anyị karịrị akarị, agbanyeghị ihe na nke anyị nwe anyị na-agabiga, agbanyeghị mkpagbu niile nke ndị iro, agbanyeghị mgbe niile ka ha na-agba ka ha wee megide ndị nsọ. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna, ịhụnanya gị na ebe anyị karịrị akarị, n'ihi na anyị bụ ụmụ gị. Ikere anyị iwe kee ihe, iwe si na ọ bụ site n'aka ụmụ gị a bụ ndị Biafra ka ụwa niile ga-eji wee mara n'ezie na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke nna nke pụrụ ihe niile. N'ihi na Biafra ga-abịara, na nke a bụ nkwa nke gị onwe gị kwere, nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. N'ihi na okwu niile bụ ihe na amen. O nweghị okwu ọbụla nke gị onwe gị kwuru, nna nke igwe, nke na-abịaghị na mmezu. Agbanyeghị otu isi wee na-ewe iwe, Anya anaghị ezo na anya onwe anyị bụ ndị mmehie nna nke ebere dị ngọzi n'ụzọ niile dị iche iche ka anyị onwe si wee mejọọ gị site na akparamagwa, okwu ma ọ bụ echiche, kama na ọ bụghị bụ naanị Chineke nna nke na-agbaghara mmehie wee na-arịọkwa gị n'ụbọchị nketa ka i wee gbaghara anyị mmehie. Ma ọ bụghị ihe ọzọ, kwere abụ ọma nke anyị bụrụ gị, otuto nke anyị toro gị, mbuli elu nke anyị buliri aha nsọ n'ụbọchị Shabat gara aga nna nke ebere. Anyị wee na-asị na onweghị ihe anyị bụ ewezuga gị. Mba ọzọ nwere ike ị na-eme ihere ikwupụta mmeso ọma gị Chineke nna nke igwe na anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị dị ndụ n'ala nke ndị dị ndụ, bụ ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra. O nweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị onwe anyị bụ ewezuga Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe. O nweghị ihe ọbụla anyị wụ. N'ihi nke dịka anyị onwe anyị si wee kweghị na nkwa na anyị ga-eguzo n'ihu igwe mmadụ n'ụwa niile wee kwupụta ịhụnanya gị n'ebe anyị nọ, bụ nke anyị onwe anyị na-eme n'ụbọchị nketa, ihe na ụwa niile gburugburu mba dị iche iche na-ege anyị ntị n'olu. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị, na-asị na Biafra nyekwara anyị na ọbịa ụkwana nna nke igwe. Ọ bụ ka ịma mma gị wee pụta ihe n'ime ndụ anyị. Anyị wee na-asị biko na wezuga anyị n'aka ajọ ihe, bịa ka ihere wee bụrụ nke ndị nro ka anyị si wee na-arịọ gị. Ndị na mgbe a kpọkụrụ gị na mgbe ikpete maazị wee sị gị nna nke dị nsọ, biko kwe ka aka nsị ndị nro wee baa ha ọnụ, o wee baa ha ọnụ, ha wee na-egbuchirịta onwe ha. N'ụbọchị nke taa bụ na Sokoto ka ha jiri onwe ha wee lee onwe ha n'iyi nna nke igwe. Ndị abịa ka ha wee gbuo ụmụ gị otu aka si wee gbuo onwe ha. Anyị wee na-asị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị niile anyị ga-enye aha nsọgote na nsọpụrụ na eji ama, n'ihi na Biafra abịakwa na-abịa nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. Anyị na-asị na anyị ga-enye aha nsọgote na nsọpụrụ na eji ama nke pụrụ iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, ka ọ ga-abụ site n'ebighị ma ruo n'ebighị, abụrụ niile ọgbọ niile nke ga-abịa ga-asị n'ezie n'ezie na Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe bụ Chineke nna nke ndị Biafra. Anyị wee na-asịgote na nsọpụrụ wee dịrị aha nsọ gị site n'ebighị ma ruo n'ebighị ka anyị na-arịọ gị ise ise ise. That was a prayer in the language of heaven. People are conniving everywhere they are gathering, like the leeches and blood-sucking demons that they are. Even those who never believed in us before, now they believe. Even those that made mockery of Eastern Security Network, now they are coming out and eulogizing that very noble outfit. Even those that cast aspersions in the past, today they are coming out to speak, or should I say, recommend ways in which their contributions could be incorporated into making ESN a more finer security outfit. But in all that we do, we are always number one. With the coming of ESN, we have made it abundantly clear to the whole world that we are not stepping back. We are only going to move forward, regardless of the obstacles we encounter, regardless of what men may try to do. We are going to march ceaselessly ahead and forward. And sometimes we get discouraged, and sometimes we get unduly perturbed by the actions of our enemies. I am unfazed. There is nothing the enemy does, be they those in Aso Rock, be they those in Whitehall in London, be they those somewhere in America. It doesn't matter where they're domiciled. Anything the enemy does doesn't faze me, because always we focus our essence, our eyes, our attention on that promise that God Almighty in heaven made, because God is not man. If Biafra doesn't come, then that means there is no God in heaven, because his word says that Biafra must come, and in our time, and it is happening before our eyes this very day. But before that, the zoo will be destroyed completely, absolutely and totally. The zoo will be decimated. Somalia will be a better place. You watch. I said this thing in 2015, and it is happening today. Anything I say is gospel from heaven, a message meant for those who are living. And it is happening before our eyes today. There is no prayer, there is nothing I ask Elohim that he doesn't do for me. I said nothing. Because at the end of each prayer, I said to Almighty God in heaven, let thy will be done. Because you are God, we are mortals. There are things that you see that men cannot see. That is why you are God. And may your will be done upon our lives. I was praying long time ago, and I said to Elohim, look at all these people tormenting and killing your children. You must set example with them. And today, they are all dying one after the other. Those who are living are afflicted with illness. Or should I say illnesses of various kinds. Go and ask them. At the end of this very process, Biafra will come. And when Biafra comes, your children will worship God Almighty in heaven, not any idol. You will not worship. I say it openly to the hearing of the world. We are not like other races. We are different from other people. We are God's chosen people. We may be residing in Africa right now, in West Africa, in a part of a damnable zoological republic. But all in all, we are the light of the world. And we must proclaim it. That is exactly what we are going to do today. A lot of things are happening in the zoo that I don't even know where to start from or where to end, but I will attempt to bring a semblance of reason and understanding to the discourse bedeviling the zoo today. And what do I mean by that? It's because we don't learn. As I have lamented, it's a good thing to see that most writers these days in the zoo, they go back, they listen to our broadcast, and they come back and they begin to write very glowingly about, should I say, what they are passing through at the hands of the Janjaweed. But one thing struck me as I was reading, as I always do. I'm an avid reader of what is happening in the zoo. Something struck me that it is only the Fulani people who don't actually own any land at all in the zoo because they're not indigenous to the country. And another thing that actually struck me is that two sets of people have actually conquered indigenous people in Nigeria. One from the north and one from the south, from the sea. They all came with their own religion. Very, very interesting. You know, as I was reading, it struck me that the first people to actually lift arms to conquer people in Nigeria were the Moors, which is a mongrel race, a mixture of black people of northern West Africa, the northern parts of West Africa, and the Arab slave raiders in those days that gave birth to races like the Moors, not the Tuaregs, the Moors, and now you have the Fulani as part of them. They came to conquer. They conquered the Hausa people. I'm sure you've heard this many times, but I have to say it again. So you have to try, so you can actually absorb the essence of what I'm trying to, this very knowledge that we are trying to impart into some of you this evening, morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. And from the south came Britain with their Bible. From the north, they came with the Quran. From the south, they came with their Bible. Britain. These are two foreign aliens. And the most important thing that people must realize is that these are the two people conniving today to hold us down in perpetual bondage. I want every indigenous Nigerian, so to speak, to listen to me very carefully. Two people came to conquer you. Only two of them. Hausas never moved until the Fulanis came. The very proud Habe monarchies of the Hausa kingdoms of the north. I don't think that Kanem Bono tried to expand more than it is today, the Kanem Bono Empire. And one of the reasons why I like Kanuri people, not Abakari, because Abakari was a Shua Arab, not Kanuri. A proud Kanuri man can never support evil. This is the history that some of you don't know about, that I'm telling you this evening. An average Kanuri man doesn't support oppression, does not support evil. So we should stop tagging everybody from even the Janjaweed Corn North as Fulani, because they're not. And I'm not saying that the whole of Fulani people are bad, of course, far from it. There are sensible ones amongst them. Nobody's saying that all Fulani people are bad. Such sweeping generalization is not very good in any intellectual discussion or debate. No, not at all. So there are bound to be one or two good people amongst them. But what we're saying is that the majority are simply awful. Awful in the sense that they came into our land from the foothills of the Futajalon. They conquered the Hausa people. They imposed their brand of, should I say, a strain of Wahhabi in their Islam, all this whole Sharia nonsense and all the rest of it. They took over the North, they took over the Hausa lands, and from there they came into the Wagi people, the Afamai, all the rest of them in the North, they took over. No problem. Somebody came from the South as well. They are called the British. A land of very immensely intelligent and conscientious people. As I keep saying all the time, Englishman in the main is a nice human being. Conscientious. They were the ones who stopped slavery. They actually had to come to Africa to stop us from selling ourselves. English people. They are the ones that founded the east coast of America, that said no to slavery. Slaves were running away from the south and coming to the north, where, of course, English value system predominated. They believed in freedom. But there were some pirates, so to speak, that came from England. They came from the south. The only thing is that they came with their guns and their sword. They also had the Bible with them. I wouldn't call it the Bible, but I'll call it the New Testament. They brought it with them as they were coming. The same people that said to us, "Thou shalt not kill," were the ones killing us, to force us to become the way they want us to become, after cutting us away as slaves for over 200 years. I want people to pay attention to this lecture this evening. Very, very critical, very, very crucial. There are two people, or there were two people that came into Nigeria. Before they came, every indigenous community were living peacefully. Nobody knew who was a minority or who was a majority, especially in the east, in Biafra land where we come from. The Igbo people never attempted to conquer the Ibibio people because they recognized that they are one, the same blood, the same family. Instead, in Bende, where I come from, we had to go and borrow, and no, I wouldn't say borrow, we brought in Anan culture, which is Okonko and Ebe. And I think in Arochukwu you even have Ekan in Arochukwu as well. These are the things that I want people to pay very close attention to appreciate the enormity of the disaster confronting each and every one of us. The enormity of the disaster confronting each and every one of us. Because we are live and direct and the whole world is listening. The world is listening. We are live and we are direct. Do you know that these people came? Fulanese took over the north. Britain took over the south. Lugard continued to march to the north. When Lugard met them in the north, this is something that people do not know. Lugard decided to introduce indirect rule. Do you know how and why Lugard introduced indirect rule? Because the reason why some of you, I was fascinated. I've been doing this research for years. I finished it today. I kept asking myself, why was it possible that Britain came with the Bible, told us about the love of Jesus Christ, but preferred to work with Muslims, killing Christians? I never understood it until it struck me. It was Lugard, the people that taught Lugard how to, should I say, conduct indirect rule are the Fulani people. Because the reason why Britain respects Fulani people, I wouldn't say respect, I would say admire them, is this. The Fulani people were fewer in number, but they were controlling the whole of the north. That included the Hausa people, the Gwari people, the Bachama people, the Birom people, the TV, everybody's there. So Lugard kept wondering, how is it possible that a few men, a handful of people with cattle, not that they were educated, no, a handful of people with cattle, how was it possible that these people could dominate and subjugate all these large swathes of land? Then the answer came in the form of indirect rule. It was Fulani people that started indirect rule. When the Fulanis come, all they need to do is to install their emir or their, basically their emir or Sariki. No, Sariki I think is Hausa. Install their emir. Despite the fact that in a village or in a city in the north, in Hausa lands in those days, you will only find one Fulani emir and his council of about maybe 10 or a dozen Fulani people with their wives and their children. You will see them controlling millions of Hausa people. And there was no problem. Britain now said, okay, it is now possible for me to be, as Wadisi, the district commissioner at the top, I now go and appoint warrant chiefs to be reporting to me. That was why it became possible to rule Black Africa, especially West Africa, with very few white men. Indirect rule, they called it. The first people to bring in indirect rule was Fulani Janjaweed. Because you have one Fulani man as the emir controlling millions of Hausa people. And they're all loyal to him. That was how indirect rule came in. So Britain now found a natural ally in Fulani people. A natural ally. And said, okay, despite the fact that they're moving cattle from place to place, these people who are fewer in number, but can control all this amount of people, they must be very clever. And I don't blame them. That was how British and the Fulani affinity, so to speak, metamorphosed into the total conquest you're witnessing today. Now, ask yourself this question. Is there any other country in the world where what is happening today in Nigeria could be happening and that nobody's saying anything about it? Remember, I told you many years ago, and I, as I'm always very fond of repeating, I said to you that the Fulani Janjaweed, they have over $30 billion in their war chest to keep Nigeria warm for their total domination. Some of you thought I was joking. Now, ask yourself this question. How come Bloomberg hasn't covered what is going on? How come CNN doesn't report the daily killings? Once in a while they say, oh, school children were abducted. After 4 or 5 hours, that news completely disappears. Have you asked yourself why Al Jazeera hasn't come to do an in-depth analysis or to investigate what is going on? Have you asked yourself why ABC, all these major global players in terms of media might and strength, why they have shunned Nigeria? Because they have been bought over. They even bought people, they not only bought over Facebook, they bought over the encryption of WhatsApp so that they can now listen to your messages when you are on WhatsApp or making a call with WhatsApp application on your smartphone. They sold it to the zoo because they have the money. $30 billion US. That is what they're using. I told you that that's what they have. Collectively, all the governors, all the ministers, they have been looting the central bank for years. Looting it for years. The money they were keeping it, of course they can buy houses in Dubai and all the rest of it. Yes. But they contribute to a fund. They contribute to a fund, what I call the fund of conquest. Because they understand one simple thing, as Britain advised them. Once you shut the ears of the world, once you suppress this news coming out of Nigeria, the world cannot do anything. Because for you to arouse the conscience of the world, they need to feed on information. Remember the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, if I'm not mistaken. Why was it that the whole world, including the UN, was screaming, Rohingya, Rohingya, give them freedom? Because there was a conscious decision by all the major media groups in the world. Mind you that CNN is owned by an Arab. Are you aware of that? Al Jazeera is owned by an Arab. The biggest investor into Rupert Murdoch's media empire is from Qatar. It's the Qatari royal family. In other words, Fox, Sky News, ABC in Australia, Sun newspaper in England, and all the newspapers in Rupert Murdoch's stable, Arab. The Qatari royal family are the biggest investors. These are the things that people don't actually understand. And I'm even sure, even in Facebook, I'm sure one of the biggest contributors to the fund, the hedge fund they are using to run Facebook is from the Arab world. In other words, a Muslim. They play a long-term game. They said they would take over the world. And they used to say it when we were in university, undergraduates in England. I never believed them. They said they would take it over. I said it's impossible. And now it is happening before our eyes. We are in one almighty mess. All of us, one big mess. Ask yourself this question. The Nigerian army were raping women. Biafran women, airlifted illegally from Iguacha. Took them to the north. We are raping them. They brought them to court today in chains. After raping them, Britain is saying that very thing. Germany can see it. EU can see it. UN can see it. Everybody can see it, but nobody can say anything. Have you ever wondered or asked yourself why? Now, are you telling me that you can go and take Muslim women, bring them to Owerri, put chains on them, and be getting Igbo police or military officers to be raping them every night. Believe you me, Britain will sink the entire... They will sink it. They will send their warships to sink us into oblivion. Why are these things happening to you and nobody's talking? Do you see how they cleverly managed all the years of the massacre in the Middle Belt? In Plateau States, to be precise. And now they have moved on to Benue. Do you know what emboldened them? Because of what I call media silence. This media silence is not, I wouldn't say it is conscious. What they have done is to pour in money after money, pour in money to suppress any news that will cast Fulani in a bad light. That is why anything you write castigating the zoo, Nigeria, under this Fulani regime, believe you me, Facebook will shut you down. But go back and ask yourself, did Facebook do the same thing under Jonathan? It was social media that killed Jonathan. It was social media that killed Jonathan. Now you must understand this very, very carefully. The people ruling you today are those that conquered you. One came from the Sahel, from the north. They are not Nigerians. Fulani people are not Nigerians. No, they're not. That is why you cannot find any place. I can say I am an Igbo man. I come from a place called Bende. I come from a place called Ibeku. Forget about that. Don't want my rubbish. It doesn't exist. It's nobody's name. I come from Isiama Farubu. I want you to tell me which land in the present day Nigeria can you say belongs to Fulani people originally? There is none. You know why? Because they are nomads. They are wandering people. Anywhere their cow wants to rest, they rest there. But when Britain came in and found out that Fulani can control millions of Hausa people, only one Fulani man, one MA with 10 people controlling millions of people, they said, okay, what you're doing is very good. These people are very foolish. We are also going to do the same. Now, Britain introduced indirect rule. That was how they managed to, with very few officers, they managed to rule black people in Africa. I'm not blaming them. I blame our stupidity for it. Now, these are the things that you need to bear in mind. That now, this conqueror from the north, the Fulani with their cattle from the north, and this conqueror from the sea, the British, they have now combined, joined together to ensure that we are held down in perpetual bondage. That is why Britain is killing. Remember during Abacha's regime, everybody was shouting and screaming, shouting and screaming, shouting and screaming. All of a sudden, evil is happening before our eyes. Evil that is worse than under Abacha. All of them that formed Nadeko running around under Abacha, you can see that a worse evil is happening now. It was never this bad under Abacha, never this bad under Jonathan. All of you can see with your two eyes open, yet you do nothing about it. Unbelievable. There is no place that you can say that the Fulani people come from. They've been very clever over the years. Babangida, all the rest of them, who have all the military rulers, you know, they will give Fulani 80%, they will give you 20%. Fulani 80. But now, since 2015, it is 100% Fulani. You can do nothing about it. And on top of, because they know they're running out of time. They only have 2 years to complete their game plan. Their master plan, only 2 more years. You know all these Fulanis, these Janjaweed, these terrorists and rapists, bandits you're seeing in the forest, their plan was to unleash mayhem in 2022. That was their plan, to take over our land in 2022. It was the coming of IPOB that stopped them. What we now did was to make them hurry up and do that thing that they wanted to do in 2022, to hurry up and do it now. That is what they're doing. That is why they said wherever they are is their land. Because they have no land. Sokoto is not theirs. Sokoto is Gobe. It's a Hausa land, not their own. Ask Fulani, where do you come from? If he says I'm from Sokoto, ask him, where does your grandfather come from? Where does your great-grandfather come from? Where does your great-great-great-grandfather come from? They will disappear. They're from Senegal or from Gambia. They are not the children of the soil. That is what Facebook doesn't want to hear. That is what our enemies do not want to hear. But that is the truth. That is, it doesn't. We are not preaching ethnic hatred for anybody. No, but that is a fact. That is a fact. And here, we must preach it, and preach it uncompromisingly. There are a lot of people who are suffering and dying today. And I'm very sorry to say that school children were kidnapped, that people are dying all the way in Sokoto. Sokoto had their own share today. Bandits came. And when they asked the bandits, why are you doing what you're doing? I read an interview. They said, because we have no education. We have no future. No education and no future. Which means that you either kill them or they will continue to fight for whatever they think that they believe in. And heaven knows, because I don't. Whatever they believe in, I have no idea what it is. But it is all to try to conquer you. My appeal tonight to all the indigenous populations of Nigeria, by which I mean all the ethnic components that make up Nigeria, is this. Don't allow what happened to Hausa people to happen to you. Because you will lose your land. And they are not going to stop. It is in the DNA of the Janjaweed, Fulani Janjaweed, to continue to conquer people. It is in their DNA. They cannot help it. They can't help it. That is who they are. It's in their brain. Every other place they've driven them out. Ghana drove them away. Every place they have driven them out. It's only in the zoo. Why? Because Britain understands it is only in the zoo that they have a sultanate worthy of mention, which is Sokoto Caliphate. That is why it is the headquarters. And that is why all of us are suffering. That is why many people will die. I'm very sorry to say, many will die until we come to our senses to realize that we have no other place, or we have no other option than to stand and to fight. The Islamic jihadists came from the Middle East, or should I say from the Sahel, with their guns and Quran. Britain came from the sea with their guns and Bible. And together today, in Britain and in Fulani Janjaweedism, the Quran has now met the Bible. The Quran is married to the Bible now in the zoo. That is why you have mayhem. That is why you have a failed state. That is why you have bandits roaming about freely. That is why you have a very disheveled and very dirty looking idiot gain national prominence. Somebody who is a bigot. Somebody who is who has a conquistador mentality. Abubakar Gumi, whatever his name is. These are the people now taking center stage. Miyetti Allah can come, the fourth largest terrorist group in the world, can come out in the open and tell you that they are the ones running the presidency. If you don't give us your land, we will kill you. Ask yourself this question: how did we get to where we are today? We got to where we are today because of complacency. We got to where we are today because of our foolishness. We got to where we are today because of envy, greed, and jealousy amongst ourselves, not against our enemies, not at all, no. We got to where we are today because we don't allow people who are natural leaders to lead. Remember when I told my Yoruba friends and brothers that what happened to Biafra will happen to everybody who supported the war against Biafra? I think I did mention this a couple of days ago. And some of you felt that it was a joke. Today, do you know that there are Yorubas who are refugees in Benin Republic? Yoruba people are refugees in Benin Republic. They ran away from their land. With the exception of one or two publications, the rest are not writing about it because it's shameful to them to say that a very proud and courageous race like the Yoruba are being driven away from their land, but that is the truth. The Fulanis have driven Yorubas away from their land. They are refugees in Benin Republic. Am I lying? It's there now. Go try and search for it. Go and Google it. Go and Google it, you will see it. Did I not tell you? Did I not warn you? I told you these things. Everybody who ever supported the injustice against Biafra, you will suffer the same fate. You will suffer it. All across the north, all across the far north, they are in refugee camps called IDPs. The middle belt is gone. They've taken it. Now they have gone to Yoruba land. They have driven Yoruba people away. That is the truth. Into Benin Republic as refugees. Now, when you consider all these things, how other ethnic nationalities are under heavy siege, then you will begin to appreciate the work that IPOB has been doing for years. You see, what they are today doing in Oyo and Oshun and all the border states between Benin Republic and Nigeria, These are Yoruba territories. They wanted to do in Ebonyi. But we started fighting them long time ago. I never told you. We were fighting long time. We started to fight them long time ago. For nearly 3 years now, we've been fighting them in Ebonyi State. And I kept saying they want to use Ebonyi as their bridgehead. Then from there to launch attacks everywhere. We said no. We've been fighting and dying in Ebonyi State for nearly 3 years before ESN was formed. Because we see things that mere mortals can. We see far. We see years ahead of every other person. Because we managed to hold Ebonyi State. That is the reason why people from Ebonyi have not fled to maybe Cameroon to go and seek for shelter. The same way that Yorubas are today in Benin Republic. Very shameful. Very, very, I have to say it is very shameful. The whole Yoruba race. Very proud. Their people are in Benin Republic. In refugee camps in Benin. They are begging them to come back. They're saying, no, we cannot come back. You cannot protect us. Because Amotekun was politicized. They allowed their politicians to be in charge of a security outfit. Something that is not done anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, the army or any security arm has independence. All they do is that they follow orders. They will ask you, what do you want us to do? You tell them and they do it. You don't meddle. They had a Motekun, they were meddling in it. Today, they are toothless as they go by. If not for the emergence of few young, courageous people. Because this generation of Yoruba young people are very, very determined and resolute. And that is why I support them and that is why I love them immensely. And maybe when they get their head round what is going on, they'll be able to secure the land even better. But, as they say, the chickens have not come home to roost. I warned you. Did I not say that you will experience refugee crisis? Is there no refugees are there no refugees? I have to be grammatically exact. Are there no refugees today in your land? They are running to Benin Republic. And people still have the temerity to wake up in the morning and mention Nigeria in the same breath as you mention other viable nations. What an insult. Is Nigeria a nation? Some people are in IDP camps in Cameroon, in Chad, and in Niger. In the West, some people are in IDP camps in Benin Republic. And you're telling me that you have a country. You're telling me that Nigeria is your country, is a place to be proud of. And I'm saying, you people don't have any shame. You don't have any shame. You do all this nonsense and there is no shame at all in you. It has never crossed your mind to think carefully and very hard where the zoo is headed to. Some of you talk about restructuring. It's not too late, isn't it, for restructuring? Is it not very clear? It is now coming to that thing that we saw before and told you only disintegration can save you. If you belong to any ethnic group in Nigeria, I don't care where you come from, you could be from, I don't know, you could be Jukun, you could be maybe Wari, or any group you are in. Listen to me very carefully. And as I'm speaking, please write it down for posterity. Tell your children that's what you heard Nnamdi Kanu say on Radio Biafra. If you are any member of an ethnic group in Nigeria, not Fulani, because Fulani people, they are not should I say, indigenous to Nigeria. If you support Nigeria to be one, you have signed the death warrant of your ethnic group. Allow me to repeat. For those who did not go to school, for those who are afraid of reading, for those when history is mentioned, they run away. In the northern part of Nigeria, you have more ethnic groups than you have in the south. In case you don't want to get your head around it. The reason why the other ethnic groups in the south are more prominent is because there was no wholesale conquest, especially in the east, as the Fulanis and the with their slaves, the Hausas, did in the north. If some people are saying, oh, without Nigeria, we cannot survive. We will be no, you are making a very grave mistake. Without Nigeria, you can survive even better than you are today, because in Nigeria, you're going to die. They will take your land and you will die. Britain needs Fulani to be in charge of the oil in perpetuity. And Fulani being in charge of the oil, the deal they struck with Britain is very clear. Allow us to take as much oil and as much gas as possible. You can do whatever you like. And that is why Britain cannot speak today. Never, they will never speak. Never. If you like, come out in front of the British High Commission in Abuja, slaughter everybody there. Pim, you will not hear from them. It's the deal they struck. These are the things that your average Nigerian doesn't know. The more you support, look at all those supporting one Nigeria. Are their villages not taken? Middle Belt, can they speak? They can talk. Yoruba used to support one Nigeria. Look at them today. Look at our brothers in a Joland, in the coastal region of Biafra. They support one Nigeria, yes. If a man will take us over, look at, go to Bayelsa, you will shed tears. Go to Bayelsa, you will cry. You will cry. The more you believe in one Nigeria, the more you place your entire race at risk of oblivion. They will be obliterated because the Fulanis are bringing even more people. Are they not now beginning to confess that they brought in all these people to fight a war should Jonathan win? Is in the open. Who pressured Jonathan to concede? The US ambassador to Nigeria then. I was live on Radio Biafra telling the whole world what was happening. I told you about how many votes they will rig the election. I told you Jonathan will lose. And as I was telling you, I told that America is in Asorok pressuring Jonathan to concede under Obama. Today, the same thing Obama did in Libya. The zoo called Nigeria is heading towards the scenario you have in Libya and is on autopilot. Not even, it has lost brake. The brake has failed. It's like a wild express train on a track to destruction. The brakes are no longer working. There is nothing you will do now to save Nigeria. Is gone. The only other option you have is orderly disintegration. Orderly. All of you shouting your restructuring and all that rubbish, channel all that energy now into dissolving the zoo that Britain put together and hand it over to the Janjaweed. That is the only way you can survive, because they know if power leaves the north and comes to the south in 2023, they know they are finished. They are gone, because there will be policy decisions made that will reverse all the damages they have done and entrench in position, should I say, systems, checks and balances that will ensure that Fulani hegemony can never ever rear its ugly head up again. They know that. They have barely 2 more years to go. And they won't give up now. They know that if power leaves the north in 2023 and comes to the south, it's over, it's game over for them. Because they know that Southerners are intelligent. They know that all they need to do is to build structures. That's all. Institutions, and they will checkmate them forever and ever. And they know they is only under the late dead Buhari, because Buhari is dead. It doesn't matter what you say, what you think, the idiot is dead. That is why nobody can speak when they're killing you. The old Buhari, anybody who is old enough to know the old Buhari, you will know he cannot keep quiet and such mayhem will be happening. It's impossible. That goes to show that some of you don't even know who Buhari is. You don't know him. A man that went to London and said that all of you are fantastically corrupt. He did not miss words. Is he the one who is going to keep quiet and there are abductions and mayhem every blessed day? Hey, I don't know the type of God that made you people. You cannot reason very well. I'm very, very sorry to say. This is a live presentation. The time now is approximately, I believe it is 12 minutes. 12 minutes to 8 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. We are live and we are direct. We are teaching. It's a lecture series to let people understand what awaits them. Somebody said that kidnapping school children is a lesser evil compared to ransacking towns and killing residents. What we are now discussing are the degrees of murder and mayhem. Everybody now, we've now agreed that there's going to be death, mayhem and murder in the zoo. But it depends on the degree. Who do you want to die? Do you prefer your villages to be ransacked, or for your school children to be kidnapped, or for your land to be taken? Take one out of the three. Have you not seen it? When you rise up to complain, they say we are now going to introduce blockade, food blockade. And I'm very happy they have done it. It will now, we have the technology to combat them. Down with that is rubbish. We are going to grow tomatoes inside the room in darkness with fluorescent light and solar panels. Is that a big deal? Forget all that nonsense. We are going to block food. Because they said that necessity is the mother of all inventions. After this very episode, we are now going to become reliant in food production. I have an announcement to make to that effect later on. We are going to be sufficient in food production. The reason why we starved during the war was because there was no planning ahead. It was impromptu. Ojukwu went to Abuja to go and discuss restructuring. Came back, Britain said no. Have you ever wondered who said no to the restructuring that was negotiated in 1967? Have you ever wondered who said no? It was Britain that said no. Britain told the Caliphate to tell Gowon to say no. Ask Gowon till tomorrow morning. Why did you renege on the agreements? People can't understand this type of human beings. I can't understand. All of this, Ojukwu is a rebel. Ojukwu is a. What happened? What led to Ojukwu declaring Biafra? Because Ojukwu and Gowon sat in Aburi, negotiated restructuring of Nigeria, agreed. General Ankara drove them to the airport. They agreed. They sat in the same limousine. General Ankara was in the middle. Ojukwu to the right, Gowon to the left. They drove them to the airport. They came back to Nigeria. And Britain said no to restructuring of Nigeria. That's why today you people are finished. That is why Fulani will take your land. You can't do nothing. That is why they can come and abduct our women. And when we try to fight back, some idiots, some morons are busy talking rubbish, talking nonsense. Because their own wives and children have not been taken. Only if the Fulani Janjaweed can go after the children of these people and rape their wives in front of them so they can see it. Maybe that day they will change. Maybe that day they will change. Fulani went out and promised Nigeria to their people all across the Sahel, come and settle here. We have land for you. They are the ones you see in our forests, in our bushes. And they have no homeland. So even if you ask them to go, where are they going to go to? Do they have any home? Go home where? Where is their home? Nobody knows. Because they are a wandering tribe. I'm not saying it out of hatred. I'm just saying it out of, these are historical facts. That's what I'm stating. So you must understand. Now, what we are now discussing is the degree of kidnap. Who do you want to be kidnapped? Is it school children? Is it to have your town ransacked? Or to take your land? Which one is better for you? That's what Sheikh Gumi is asking you. Sheikh, a complete idiot. These are the people that give the impression that Nigeria is an Islamic country and all of you are shouting one Nigeria. You are not a Muslim, you are shouting one Nigeria. You are Yoruba, you are saying one Nigeria. Igbo, Ejo, TV, all one Nigeria. Everybody one Nigeria. You don't know that in the eyes of the world, you're a Muslim. You don't know that before? This was the same idiot Gumi that said over his dead body will a Christian ever do Nigeria again. That is why they're angling for Tinubu, because Tinubu is a Muslim. Don't you know that? Who's going to stop them? Now, even the so-called Christian Association of Nigeria just throw, they're like chicken. Just throw them some corn. They start squabbling amongst themselves as you slaughter them. Christian Association of Nigeria, one of the most hopeless and idiotic groups I've ever seen in my life. The most hopeless and idiotic group I've ever seen. Christian Association of Nigeria, my foot. Mad people everywhere. Look at what the Muslims are doing every blessed day. Look at what they're doing to you. All you do is to beg. Every day is to beg. Okay, you have taken Leah Shuaibu. Don't take another one, oh, please. Okay, since you have gone to school, you have taken children. Please don't release them now. Don't take another one. And they went to Kwara State and they said that hijab is compulsory, even for Christians. They said, oh, please, leave them now. You make them prone to kidnappers. In a secular country, in a secular state. Some of you don't know the meaning of the word secular. Secular means removed from religion. But in Kwara State, they are saying it's compulsory. You must wear hijab, even for Christians. And all of you are not ashamed of yourselves, calling yourselves Nigerians. You people cannot reason. When I said he's insultive, you are a fool. One would I be rude to you? You are a complete idiot. One would I be rude? You are a fool. You have refused to reason. Nigeria is a secular state, which means that religion has no role to play in the governance of the people. But in Kwara State, they said Christians must wear hijab. And all that your useless and foolish Christian Association of Nigeria did is say, oh, please now, it will make them susceptible to kidnapping. Hey, this Bible Britain gave to us, New Testament. That is where lies our idiocy and stupidity because of the way we read it. But there's a part of the Bible that I love so much. For the kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violence taketh it by force. They won't read that one. It's to be begging. Every day they're begging. Every day that Leah Shuaibu, I don't know, maybe this is her 4th child now she's about to have. Christian Association of Nigeria indeed. Useless idiots everywhere. It's only to be wearing big robe and sounding important, when in essence they are nothing. You cannot stand up against your enemy to say that what you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. No, they can't do it. Because if you do it, they will ask them, they will slap tax on their private jet at the airport. They can no longer fly in private jets. People deceiving themselves and think they're deceiving God Almighty in heaven. I feel sorry for some of you following them. And honestly speaking, I feel so sorry for some of you because you don't know what is going on. You have no idea what is happening. School children, kidnapping of school children is a lesser evil compared to ransacking towns and villages, according to Fulani people. Their sheikh, their chief bandit, the minister for banditry and kidnapping, Sheikh Gumi. And all of you are in the same country. Tomorrow night you'll be saying one Nigeria. Do you see as the days roll by, do you see how foolish you are beginning to sound, some of you? Still defending one Nigeria. Do you see how idiotic? You know, when you even sit down to say our country Nigeria, don't you feel ashamed of yourself? When you sit down to utter those rubbish words, I'm a Nigerian, you don't feel any shame inside? And of course you're black, you won't feel any shame. In this UG, we have no shame now, so you won't feel anything. Fulani came from the north, Britain from the south. The two people now running your lives in the zoo, none of them is indigenous to the place. But our stupidity has made us very prone and open to be turned left, right, and center. Unbelievable. Anyway, I thank Chukwuka Kabiama for the praise and worship we offered him a few days ago. Not minding that some people took the mindset of nightclub and came to worship Elohim. I saw some videos, people were moving as if they were dancing to flavor music or to Fino. Brought those moves. I'm sure you only find a nightclub. That's what they brought into what we are doing. And I prayed for them that next time when we have songs of praise of this sort, that they can dance in a very right. Of course, all of them that brought in their videos, I commend all of you. At least you danced and praised the Most High. That is why we are able to continue what we are doing today. But we are undeterred. It doesn't matter how many people they arrest. It doesn't matter what they do. How many people they put in their chains. Are we going to stop? The answer is no. We are unstoppable. We are going until Biafra is restored. If you love Nigeria so much, go to Zamfara and start preaching to one Nigeria there. In the middle of the day, they'll come and cut off your useless head. Then you know how foolish and idiotic you are. This is a live presentation. The time now is 3 minutes to the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. Victims of Fulani killer headsmen who fled Ogun communities to Benin Republic are afraid to return home. Yoruba people are now refugees in Benin Republic. They are afraid to come back home. They said, we are not coming. Some of the areas where many people lost their lives to the murderous headers include Asa, Egua, Ayesoro, Igbogila, and Imeko in Ogun State. Ogun State. People are saying, hey, one Nigeria. That Kanu boy, you want to divide us? Now, it's your one Nigeria now. He said, that's come to you. That's come to your village. One Nigeria has come into Ogun State. And you're not in Benin Republic as a refugee. Are you now shouting one Nigeria again? Before you were kissing everybody. Well, what IPOB is doing? Now you are a refugee in Benin Republic. How far? I'm asking you. Do you see how foolish you are? You are now in Benin Republic as a refugee. What drove you away from your father's land is your belief in one Nigeria. A name you know means nothing. That is, sometimes when I look at black people, I wonder what type of God made these people. Nobody can ask him or herself who created Nigeria and for what purpose. They can never ask themselves that question. Somebody will wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm a proud Nigerian. And you cannot help but feel sorry for that idiot because the soul is lost. They have no brain. Only an idiot will say Nigeria is his country. I'm telling you the truth. God, people in Ogun State, let me mention the villages for you once again. Asa, Egua, which is Eggua, Ayetoro, Igbogila, and Imeko in Ogun State. They are now refugees in one of the poorest countries of the world, in Benin Republic, a giant of Africa seeking refuge in one of the poorest countries of the world. Isn't that laughable? Isn't that laughable? I'm asking you, are you not ashamed of yourselves? All of you saying, I'm a proud Nigerian. Don't you have shame inside you? It's because of one night, because had there been an Oduduwa nation, you cannot come and drive these people away from their land. Somebody cannot come all the way from Niger Republic, all the way from Mali, all the way from Timbuktu, and come to Ogun State and drive you away into. Are you not ashamed of yourselves? No, you know, there are some news that I come across sometimes, and I wonder if people actually read those news at all. I wonder. The time now, for those who do not know, is 8 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. The top of the hour right now, because we're live and direct. I'm asking you once again, all of you shouting one Nigeria. Had there been an Oduduwa nation, the fact that Awo made with Ojukwu, had that been a reality, do you think that Yoruba sons and daughters would have fled to Benin Republic, where they are now refugees and refusing to come back? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. We always win. I told you before, I'd forget all this. At the end of the day, they can dance around all these issues. Ultimately, they come down to our position. We always win. The zoo cannot be won. Yoruba people are scattered all over the place. They're now refugees in their own homeland. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Hey, unbelievable. Some of the areas where many people lost their lives, and what we have mentioned, the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, has promised to improve the security and also compensate the affected farmers with palliatives in the form of cash and food materials to come back. And they said, no, we don't want your palliatives. Take it and go away. Do you still believe in one Nigeria? Zoo animal, let me ask you again. Do you still believe in one Nigeria? I'm asking you. Do you see the level that your idiocy and stupidity has brought you to? Have you seen the level that somebody, a Fulani bandit, a Fulani murderer, a Fulani terrorist can travel all the way from Gambia? No passport, nothing. As soon as he hits the northern borders of Sokoto, between Sokoto and Niger, they give him AK-47. And then they transport him with Dangote trailer all the way to Ogun State. Somebody from Gambia, no passport, no formal residency in Nigeria, will now come into Ogun State and pursue you from your land. You are now a refugee in Benin Republic. Somebody from Gambia is now in your village. You know, if you script this as a movie, people won't believe it. They'll say it's not true, it's not correct. Somebody will travel all the way from Senegambia, come to Sokoto. They give him AK-47 because these people we are told are outsiders. If you give him AK-47, he will now drive all the way to Ogun State with AK-47. It's either he traveled with it, crossed all those police checkpoints, or somebody supplied him, in this case, Nigerian police and Nigerian army, controlled by the Fulani. Now, people that actually own the village from time immemorial, they are now in Benin Republic as refugees. People that just came a few days ago, this thing it's like a comedy. It's like a comedy, honestly. Oh, God in heaven. And who are those responsible? Those of you shouting one Nigeria. Do you see how idiotic you are? Idiotically idiotic you are. One Nigerian people. You people are the worst set of fools I've ever seen on this earth. You people are so foolish. That is why Fulani are slaughtering you, because you are foolish. Your foolishness is the reason why Fulani are killing you. Driving you away from your father's compound into Benin Republic, where you are now refugees. Now the governor, those palliatives they said they will not give to people during COVID. They now want to use it to bring you back 2 bags of rice. You come back and then Fulani will put their knife in your neck and cut it open. Do you think CNN will report it? You've got to be dreaming. Nobody will talk about you. After all, Bill Gates wants 300 million Africans dead. So if you're one of them, so what? We are in one almighty mess. And may Chukwu Kikabiam in heaven please save us, because people are very, very foolish. And we are not going to indulge them in their foolishness. We can't indulge them at all. Even in Sokoto, because I pray every day. And I will say it in Igbo language so people can understand me very well. Because I'm in the spirit. That hand with which they pulled that AK-47, may they use it to turn the same AK-47 against themselves. Let that hand they have used to poison your children, may they unwittingly and inadvertently put it in their mouth, that they too may become poisoned. That is why today I gladly report that there was a successful bandit attack. Or should I say, some people clashed with bandits in Sokoto. That's how they will say it when they report issues affecting Biafra. The army will come to your house and kill you. I remember when the army came to my house to kill me on the 14th of September in the year 2017. I remember Nigerian newspapers saying that there was a clash inside my house. I was sleeping and they came to kill me. They said there was a clash inside my house. I was in my house and they came to kill me. They said there's a clash, there's a clash. So today we report that there was a clash between a community and bandits in Sokoto. And these bandits, they stormed the village with sophisticated weapons and opened fire, killing a lot of people at a place called Amarawa community in Ilela, local government area of Sokoto State. None of these names are Fulani sounding names. These are indigenous people, maybe not even Hausa. Because they believed in one Nigeria. That is why a Fulani criminal can travel all the way from across the Sahel, come into their village and kill them. Had you reasoned and said no to one Nigeria, then people will go back on their own, and then people can then come back to renegotiate a union. And in that union, you will say, nobody should carry AK-47 or move their cattle about. They use cattle to get all of you. Only cattle. That's what they used. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. Leave us to grace, to grace. That was how they entered you. You understand that? You know, that is how it is. That is how it is. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. You know, it's so disheartening that people have refused to learn, not to reason. Gunmen suspected to be armed bandits have attacked a Marawa community in Ilola local government area of Sokoto State, killing at least 10 persons dead. Why are they dead? They believed in one Nigeria. And I'm sure they were, some of those fed the rubbish. What Nnamdi Kanu is saying is bad. He's to bring war like one idiot. Only Kokona was George will be also talking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. The day they will cut off his head, I won't send any condolence message. Why are you being killed in Nigeria? Have you ever wondered why Fulani is taking your lives over? Because you are in one Nigeria. If you are on your own, nobody can come in. You issue visas. If you say don't come in, they cannot come in. But you prefer to live in ignorance and cowardice. And that is why what is happening to you is happening to you. Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad indeed. I have gone past, I said I will be here for only 1 hour. But things are happening and I must preach this very gospel from heaven. As we do it, so is heaven pleased with us. Our women were brought to court today. 50-something of them in chains. After raping them, they put them in chains. And when we're reacting, people say they have reacted. They are destabilizing the polity. But when you are destabilizing our women, you don't know. No shame, no conscience. You know, a black man is evil. Immoral, you know, people, other races are wicked, but a black man's wickedness is something so special to behold. After raping women, abducting them from Iguacha, courtesy of Mwike, took them to Abuja, raping them night and day, every day for the past 4 months or thereabout. You didn't have the shame. You still brought them to court in chains to say you can't do anything. What can you do? We raped your women. We brought them to court. You can't do nothing. And Britain is watching. And all of you do good as all of you idiots ranting and chatting, talking rubbish every day on social media. You cannot see it. The evil of man against man, or should I say in this case against women. All of you can see it, can't you? Okay. And our madness is coming. What you're witnessing now is just it's called preamble. Appetizer. The main course will be served soon. Then you will know that even heaven is angry with all of you zoo animals. They brought our women to court. We can't let them. No, never. We can never forgive nor forget what they have done. They can do their food blockage all they like. That is rubbish. From today, of course, we've started already. Every community is going to produce land for us. We are going to go into advanced animal husbandry to produce the meat we are going to consume. And also we are going to go into intensive agricultural practices to grow the food that we need as a people. Like what they call vegetable garden, which is like onions, tomatoes, carrots, lettuce, cabbage, and all the rest of it. And Nsukka will be a haven because it can be grown there. Also a Ebonyi state. We are going to produce our own food. Starting from tomorrow, the order has been given. A section of our people will go into the bushes and start clearing it and try farming. We are going to farm to produce what we are going to eat. It's a very good thing that actually started this blockade. I love it very much. So we can look inward and tell ourselves the bitter truth that Nigeria can never ever be won. The bugging technology that the zoo has acquired, we must take very seriously. They can now bug WhatsApp. And I'm telling all of you, if you continue to use your WhatsApp or your old phones, all the principal officers in Biafra land, listen to me very carefully this evening. Every principal officer in Biafra land, listen to me very carefully. See that phone you're using, I don't care how much it costs. I want you to open that phone tonight. Take out the battery, take out the SIM card, use hammer or whatever to grind that phone into a pulp and bury it. The SIM card, the same thing. Do not use it. I don't care how expensive the phone is. Don't give it to your brother. Don't give it to your sister. Never destroy it, because with it they can track your location. And if you're going to go, I have asked all of you to go back on Signal. After tonight, if you call me on WhatsApp, you can never get me. We must go on to Signal from tonight. We are developing our own communication platform. It's coming out very soon. We want to make sure that all the safety features are in place, because once it comes out, the interest that represents all these other platforms will attack it. So we want to make sure it's as robust as possible. And once it comes out, it becomes compulsory and mandatory for everybody to be on it. If you are on WhatsApp, you will be arrested. If you remain on WhatsApp using your old phone, some of you are fond of calling each other direct line. Nah, suicide. Never ever do that. I'm warning you in public. And when you're setting up your Signal, the Signal number you're going to be using cannot be the same number that you have on the phone through which you get your data. I repeat, the Signal number you're going to be using or Telegram cannot be the same number as the SIM card inside your phone. In other words, it's going to cost money and a lot of effort, but it's going to save a lot of people. The number of your Signal is going to be different from the number with which you draw your data from your internet, data from to be able to run your social media applications. Very, very important. I'm sure that coordinators can explain better when they attend family meetings. But amongst yourselves, if you are a principal officer of state, it doesn't matter your position. I don't care if you're the one that gets rice after meeting or that dishes out the stew after meeting. Tonight, you must you must destroy it. Bring out the battery, bring out the SIM card, very important, and destroy the phone. If you don't, they will track you. They have the technology to do so. I will prefer you go into the marketplace. For all our big officers in the front line, you go into a nearest market and destroy it there. That's your phone. I don't care how much it is. If you hold on to it, they will be able to track you. I'm warning you. And you must leave WhatsApp. You must leave WhatsApp immediately. Immediately, you must leave WhatsApp. Immediately, I said. Tonight. Or else, if you are arrested, we will not come after you. Please. Very, very critical. And I'm asking them, I will speak to my secretary. I want our people that develop this very, very smart, beautiful app in America to please hurry up and give us all the guarantees that we need so we can roll it out and start using it. Not just in Biafra, but all across Africa. The same way you have WeChat in China is how we're going to have this one. It will dominate Africa and WhatsApp will be dead. I'm telling you the truth. That's Zuckerberg. We'll get to him eventually. Be rest assured. Be rest assured. We are live and we are direct and the whole world is listening. Of course, you must go, please, and destroy your old phones back in Biafra. And I want to make a very special announcement so you understand me very clearly. From tonight, the IPOB family in the UK is suspended. Nobody is to hold any meetings with any of them. I don't care who you are or what business you have. The IPOB leadership in the United Kingdom is dissolved. All of them dissolved. Dissolved. Completely dissolved. You don't do anything with them at all. If I hear you're holding meetings with them, you're off. Dissolved. Grown-up men behaving like little children. Unbelievable. I believe that I believe that maybe the British Secret Intelligence are even running IPOB in the UK. All of them, from top to bottom, useless. Disgraceful and very shameful, behaving like a bunch of rats in a cage. These are supposedly decent men and women behaving, and I'm thinking, I don't know what they fed to them. UK IPOB family is shut down until further notice. Shut down. Everybody in a position of authority resign. You sacked, completely sacked. Complete all of you, sacked all of you from top to bottom. Sacked. And those holding our funds, move it to Germany as quickly as possible. If you have to shut down the accounts, so be it. I held a meeting with them yesterday, very disgraceful. Shameful. Shameful. Disgraceful. At this particular point in our history, all you're interested in is building cabals left, right, and center. You think that's how Biafra is going to be? You build cabals inside Biafra, you must be mad. It can't happen. UK is shut down, completely shut. I mean, everybody in the UK, every strata of government of our leadership is shut down, complete. We have come to the end of our program this very day, and we also held a meeting yesterday in the USA, and those things that we said is how it's going to be. That is how it is going to be. All our finance officers held a meeting yesterday in the US. That's how it's going to be. Those things we said are final, not subject to any change. I thank you all very much for listening. I don't know if I'm able to come live again in 2 days' time, but if I'm going to do so, it will be announced. I thank you all very much for listening this very evening. Prepare to go and do intensive farming. And we want somebody, our people in Argentina, please. We need, we want our cattle to look like those. Of course, we have our own local cattle or local cow, so to speak. But we want to crossbreed it with the ones that we have in Argentina. They make very fine beef. That's what we want to grow in our land, and I want it to start by tomorrow morning. People must raise their land. All those idiots, all those stupid Igwe, mad people everywhere, giving land to Janjaweed, give it now to us. We are going to farm intensively to provide the food that we need to eat. Janjaweed can take their food and stuff it up their backside. That is their business. I don't give a damn. From me, from here, I thank you all for listening. And as always, everything we say is out of love and concern that you may all be better. For those of you who believe in the zoo, when your village is taken, I'll be here to announce it. I thank you all for listening from me from here. Good evening.